Hello. Welcome all. Welcome. Sunny Oregon. I want to be in sunny Oregon. It's cold here. Let me turn off I have my heater on down here. Hello. I'm so glad you're all here. Happy Sunday. So my husband is out of town visiting his father for a while in Ponca City, Oklahoma. So I thought, why not do some fun crafting today to kind of keep myself distracted. Lila just went to go shopping with my mom and her friend. Mike is here with me. He helps me hold the fort down when Ken's gone. Anyway, glad you all are here. So I thought it'd be fun to go live today. It was going to be a little more informal. I was just going to kind of play with some stuff, but then I started playing yesterday and I came up with a bunch of things I want to share. So I'm going to show you one kit today that I think is just really good. It's an older one, and show you a bunch of different things to do with it. Because I've been trying to do more lives and videos where I take like a product bundle and show you the many ways you can use it. Because I think more and more companies are coming out with these, and I think the better you can think of ways to use collections, the more value you get from it. And you can also decide which pieces you may or may not want. So, and the bundle I'm using today happens to be on sale. Okay, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, TJ. I hope you're feeling okay. So I will be using some Altenew today. They're kits. They're bundles. They're kits. Just always knock my socks off. And the one today is especially good. I don't know how I missed it a long time ago when it came out. Oh, you did practice teaching in Ponca City. Not much in Ponca City. There's not a whole lot there, except my in-laws. Okay, so I am going to use a kit today, and it's on sale, which is great. I'll talk about that in a moment. And I'm also going to use one or two things from an event that's coming up soon. And they said I could use one thing, and I'm pushing the envelope and using two. I'm hoping that's okay. So May is here from Altenew, because sometimes there's questions that I'm not able to answer. So she will be here. May is one of my favorite card makers, and she's been making cards again lately, which makes me happy. And she does marketing kind of stuff for Altenew. She's incredible. And then also I see Brianne is here. Brianne is my link ninja. She is super fast at answering questions and giving links when people are looking for them. She is my ride or die. She's great. So thank you, Brianne, for being here. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the event that I'm going to use a few things from today. So I'll be using an older product that's available and on sale and mixing it with a couple new things that will be part of the Secret Garden retreat that's coming up in May, okay? I've talked about the Secret Garden retreat before. Mike, can you put up this square image? I've talked about this before, but I thought I'd talk about it again because I'm going to use a few products from it. So the Secret Garden retreat is May 3rd and 4th. And I was going to be teaching with all these lovely humans here on that weekend. But my mom planned a trip to Norway. So it's right over that. So what we're doing is Christina's going to be teaching my cards for me that weekend, and then I am doing another bonus class a couple weekends later. So you're going to get a lot of content out of this. The Secret Garden retreat has always been one that I've liked because of the amount of product they put in the kit, and there's really unique stuff in this one. Here's a little hint. If you want to see all of the stuff included in the kit, go to the description below, click the link for the Secret Garden, and when you go over to it, it'll go to Altenew, and the Secret Garden product page will show up, the information page. There's a video there that Altenew put together, and in it they actually show a screen with all of the products, and there's some really unique stuff in there. So if you want to see the product, you can go get a peek in that video. But you can do that after this class. So I have an exclusive code right now, and it is in the description below. It is to save, I think it's $150. I think that's how much. I think you save like $150. So if you go to that product page, that price is just like the current price. It's marked down already. But then when you use my code at checkout, you get like $150 off that. So all of that information is in the description below. Yes, it is open for international registration. So they would ship you the product. You do some prep work ahead of time, and then you join for the classes. And if you can't make the classes that weekend, it's okay. You'll have access to them afterwards. Yeah, good. Yeah, I like all the different events companies offer. Everyone has a little bit something different to offer. I really like how Altenew has this secret garden theme. There are some floral things, of course, but then there are some non-floral things too. So I just wanted to mention that code. The price, I think this is probably the last time they're offering a code, so thought I'd mention that. Okay, so I will be doing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish cards to cover today, maybe. I've had a little bit of a cold again, and I'm not feeling 100%, but I took some medicine and I'm hoping. If you already signed up, you'll be able to get the extra discount. Chances are if you signed up with one of my things, it was a different discount in the past. I think, so you probably got a discount. So you might want to check that. But I think this might be the last time they offer a discount on it. Somebody said somebody said my audio is wonky. Let me know if it is. All right. Okay. And let's hope I don't start sneezing. All right, let me show you. First, I'll show you the bundle, the kit that I'm going to use today for in lots of different ways. And then I'll show, and that's available now. It's actually on sale, like 21% off, which I love when things are on sale. And then I will show you a couple products from the Secret Garden Retreat, and I'll use that on my cards today, so you get a little bit of a peek. All right, oh good. Okay, so the product kit that I'm using today, let me get it up here so I don't describe it wrong, because, you know, I do that kind of thing. If you're looking for more information on the Secret Garden, it's linked at the top of the YouTube description. Oh, by the way, at the top of my YouTube description, there is a link that has the word live in it. If you click that link, it'll take you to another page, and in there is information on any sales or discounts I talk about. And then if you scroll down, you'll see thumbnails of all the products I talk about, which makes it easier to find things if you want more information. All right, yay. Okay, so the product, I didn't set this up. I gotta set this up. I did this last time too. Let me zoom out a bit. So the product bundle that I'm using today, as I've mentioned, I'm a big fan of these kits, these Craft Your Life kits from Altenew. They always have a lot packed in it and a bunch of different ways to use them. So, and then of course, ideas. This one I thought was particularly good because there are some unexpected things in it that I didn't see the first time I saw this kit, and it's really unique. So this is the Mixed Blooms Craft Your Life Project Kit. Came out a while ago, and right now it's 21% off. So I love when things I want to use are on sale. So this is the stamp set. It is a large 6x8 stamp set. All of this comes together. So there is the solid floral image and then the outline, and those do line up. So you'll see a technique with that today. Then there's lots of sentiments, of course. There is a embossing folder, and that embossed floral image lines up with the stamps. Then there's a coordinating die that cuts out that floral image. So you can use it with any of those, all together, separate, whatever you want. Then there are layering stencils that allow you to color in the different parts of this floral image, or you could just use it to color in the floral image of the embossing. Lots of different ways to use it, and I'll show you. There is also this die that creates these fun little flowers and little leaves. I'll show you something to do with that. But what's neat about this, and I didn't catch when I first saw this one come out, is not only does it have the stencils to color in this image, it also has stencils to create this little floral cluster. It's a big one. and this floral cluster. So there are lots of different pieces in here that can be used in so many different ways. Yeah, you might have to refresh your page. You might have to refresh your page if something isn't, like if you're not seeing some of the information, because I added some right before I went live. So this kit it's linked in the description below. It is the mixed blooms I'm using on all of my cards today. And it is 21% off right now, which I think is a great deal. All right, so that is the kit I'm using. I have two things from the Secret Garden Retreat that I will show you when we get to sentiments, because I'm using mostly sentiments from that. So far, everything I'm using is from the mixed blooms. Let's start by, got a variety of things. Let's start by just using the stamps. How about that? Let me show you this card here. I'm going to do this card, and you can see there's some stamping and there's some texture on the background. And you'd be amazed how easy this one is. Isn't that pretty? This uses the Altenew Azurite blue cardstock, which is one of my favorite colors. You see me use it many, many times in videos. Would you like me to demonstrate with that color again, or should I switch it up and do with the Berrylicious? Let me know what you think. This is another color from Altenew that I've been wanting to use, called Berrylicious. Should I do the Azurite again or do the Berrylicious? I will say the darker the cardstock, the better for this technique. This would work really good with like a dark purple. This is probably as light as I would go, but I haven't been able to use this color cardstock yet, so I could do that. So should I switch it up? Since I've done this, let's do the berry. Good idea. And I'll tell you, I did the exact same thing. So we'll be referring to this as an example. Okay, the first technique is super easy, and we're going to use the stamp set for it. I will use my stamp wheel. Can you put the stamp wheel on the list? Stamp wheel 2.0, I forgot to put it on there. So I have the stamp wheel 2.0 here. You can use whatever stamping tool you may have. I put my old stamp wheel grid in the bottom here. It's black and white, and I centered it so that when I put my sticky mat that comes with the stamp wheel, I can see through it. Now there are a lot of other things you can do inside of your stamp wheel to line things up, but this seemed easiest, so I can see the center right there. And then the nice thing about the Stamp Wheel 2.0 is the side arm comes off, so if you have some cardstock that's bigger or a stamp that's bigger, it can hang out the side and still work great. I was doing that earlier, that's why I have this off. Oops, turn it around. Okay, so I will start by using the solid image. So yeah, Craft Your Life kits are great. I use them a lot in videos because of how the products mix and match, and there's something really nice about this one in particular because it can be used in so many different ways. So you'll see lots of them today. I do recommend, if you like the Craft Your Life kits, you can subscribe to them, and then there's additional savings and additional perks. So I really feel like it's worth considering. YouTube Guru, is there a way to hit the link to the supply list to check it out but not leave your YouTube chat? Yeah, you can like right click on the link and then open it on, like you want to open it in a new, oh, you're on the phone. Copy it and put it into a new window, like open a new window. Maybe somebody there can help you out. I cut a piece of the Berrylicious cardstock and I put it right kind of in the center there. And I'm going to try to do it similar to what I did here just because it'll make things easier. Move all this. Hang on, I got to make room. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so I want to have kind of like I've got here. So I'm going to make it like about there. We'll do it like that. All right. Long press on the link to copy it. There you go. Brianne's there. She's smart. She's smarter than me. She'll know what to do. All right, now for this technique, I recommend a white pigment ink. Honestly, there are two that I really like. One is Cloud White from Altenew, but I need a re-inker, so I don't have that one for today. But I'm using my older Hero Arts White, which I have re-inked. But any good white pigment ink would work here. I do like the Altenew Cloud White because it's a round ink pad, which is really nice. And the lid screws on so it doesn't dry out as fast. However, I left my lid off and it dried up. So that's my own fault. I need to get a re-inker. All right, so this is the stamp wheel. You can use any stamp positioner for this, but the idea of it is you can rotate it around. You can do something which I'm going to show you in a moment, but it works just like a stamp positioner. I always make sure my little hole up here is up at the top position, and then you just press it down. And you can see how beautiful this is. All right. Yeah, I'll do it one more time. What the heck? I am a double, triple stamper. I just figure if one is good, 2 or 3 is better. Especially with white pigment ink. It'll make it more intense. Lorianne said she wants a setup video for the stamp wheel. I could probably do that, but I know there's a lot out there. I'm sure JC has done one. I'm sure there's one on the Altenew website too. Is StazOn white pigment ink still good? I bought it and I think I bought it by mistake. You could use Altenew or StazOn white ink here, but that's a little bit different. But you definitely could use it. You definitely could use it. All right, so we got this bright white image. Now a fun thing you could do, I'm not going to do it now, but you could have put like that image down here a little bit farther down and then stamp it in this corner and rotate and stamp it up in this corner. And you'd have like a mirror kind of image, not a mirror, but a really cool look where you kind of frame the florals. So I could go and stamp it right here and overlap in the middle, but I just want the image down here in the corner. All right. All right, now, so that's just white ink on the Berrylicious cardstock. Isn't that color pretty? I think it's unique. Very unique. Okay. Now I have the outline image and I'm just gonna lay it over. Now my head's gonna get in the way. Oh, Simon Hurley did a class. Thank you, Erica. I'm just gonna lay this on top the best I can. Sorry, my head gets in the way. It's the best way to look through the stamp and line it up. So I'm lining this up the best that I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's a nice thing about this. So it's the outline image that I'll be stamping on top of the solid image. Now the nice thing is I still have this on here. I'm going to leave it here, so if I want to do another card, I can. And so the stamp is actually facing up right now, so I will put this stamp on the other side, which is completely fine to do. That's one of the nice things about the stamp wheel. You can put one stamp on one side and one stamp on the other, and that way you can do more and more. All right. Berrylicious. Let's see. I'm going to pick a color ink that is a bit darker. Well, I could do Berrylicious. Let's try just doing the Berrylicious. So this is the Berrylicious ink. This is fresh dye ink. If you watch my videos, you know I like to use this ink because it stamps wonderfully, it blends wonderfully. It's good for better press. It's a good dye ink that comes in many colors. And I like it because it's a little bit thicker than some inks. And so it just works really well. So I'm stamping, now this stamp is still here. The solid one is still here facing up. That's okay, just leave it there. Look at that. Okay, hold on. Now I'm gonna wipe this off because it probably picked up some white ink. Let me do it one more time and then I'll show you. I just think this is so cool and it's so simple. Another thing you could do with that solid image that I did in white, you could do like a blended ink. Like when you go to stamp it, do like blue down here, green down here, and yellow at the top and get a nice beautiful blended image. I just did white for the first solid layer and now the Berrylicious ink on top. You don't really need to heat set the ink for that. I mean, it's fine. Look at that. Can you see how pretty that is? Isn't that gorgeous? I just think that's gorgeous. And I think it would be pretty with some done up there too. Now, I would heat set this before giving it, you know, before moving on. But at this point, it's okay. Yeah, Kara they do have a bit of a smoothing agent in it. Yep. So I try to go match the cardstock, but go a little darker. Hi, Sika. So there you have, look at how pretty that is. So I did it in blue on this one. So on this one, I used the azurite cardstock, then I stamped with white pigment ink, then I did the outline with azurite ink. If you want the outline to be darker, you can pick a color that's darker than your cardstock. This ink color will dry back a little bit. Now, before I come back to this, I'm gonna come back and do more with that in a moment. Well, no, I think we're good. I think we're good. Hold on, let me think. Yeah, I think we're good. What I could do, because I have the stamps on here, is I could do more, right? I could ink up this side with white pigment ink, stamp it, then ink up this side with the outline ink and stamp it. So that's the advantage of having the two sides to your stamp wheel. And I'm just gonna leave it on in case I decide to do more. Yeah, this is a great way to use white ink. Now remember, in the this kit, there's the stencils that you could use to color that in, which I'm going to show you in a moment. I'm trying to use it all in different ways so you can just see. Again, I feel like when you do invest in any kind of kit or collection of products, it's best to look at all the different ways you can use it and get used to stretching it so that you get the value from it. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start with, I'm going to take this piece and I'm cutting it to 3 3/4 by 5. And I will do embossing folder at the top corner. Okay, hang on. Mike ran away, so if there's questions, I'll be missing him, but he'll be right back. I am using my Gina Intri-Cut today. I try to switch up what machines I use because there's some good ones out there. One of the reasons I like Gina's machine is it has the dials. And for Altenew's 3D embossing folders, it works great when you set it to 3D embossing folder. You gotta Swift it for me. Okay, so I got that set up. Oh, and by the way, because of this dial, you don't have to have different plates to do the different things. There are these two things, and well, this is a magnetic platform, but you just use the same, you're actually using the same sandwich no matter what you're doing. You just change the dials instead of changing the plate. All right, so now I have the embossing folder here, and I want to have like some of the floral embossed up on the top left corner. What's wrong, Mike?
No, thing keeps doing that.
Oh, so I want it up in this corner only. So I have it just sticking out the side there, which is completely fine. Now these 3D embossing folders you can use with whatever machine you have. I found they work on every machine. Can you use Intri-Cut with cutting dies? Yep, there's a dial on the side that's just die cut. So it's just regular die cutting. Brianne just did linked to a video showing all about it. Look at that, isn't that pretty? So it's the same pattern. Now I could put this in here and add the embossing texture to this. I'm not gonna do that right now, but you could see, you could line it up in here. See how you could line up, let me line it up. See how you line up the pattern and you can run it through and that would give the texture. I'm not doing that on this card, but I'm shedding again, but I will in a moment with another card. So this is somebody, if you're just popping in, I'm doing a bunch of cards and techniques using one kit that happens to be on sale right now. Yay! Makes me happy. Okay, so now to finish this off, I'm just going to show you some of the steps and then we'll just refer to this completed one here. I shouldn't have put my machine away. That's dumb. Oh well. Now this is the point at which I would normally heat set this white pigment ink so I don't make a mess. Linda, You asked, do you not wind it all the way through because there would be a line on the edge? I don't think it would end up having a line on the edge. It's just a habit. Sometimes I just go as far as I need and then go back. Does the stencil work on the embossing folder? Yes, Valerie, it does, and I will demonstrate that. Okay, so this is normally where I would heat set this white ink so I don't mess it up. But just to save time and noise in today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and die cut it. I'll probably get a little white ink. I might get a little white ink on my cutting plate. I'll just wipe it off. So, hang on just a second. There we go. The colors I'm using are Azurite and Berrylicious from Altenew. Isn't that cool, the color? Yeah, there is a shadow. I'm going to show you that right now. All right, so I just cut this out. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, that's gorgeous. Now, I'm not going to finish putting it all together because it's super easy to do, and we have the blue example. But what I did is I used this die and cut 2 more. You can cut it from white cardstock or Berrylicious cardstock and glue it to the back of this so there's a little bit of dimension so it stands up a little bit. And that's what I did here. See how this stands up a little bit, it has that shadowy dimension. That's because I didn't just glue it flat. See how it's kind of boring if you just glue it flat, but if you lift it up a little bit, you get that shadow that really makes it look nice. All right. The kit that I'm using is called Mixed Blooms. It's right at the top of the description below. So I put extra die cuts behind this. You could use foam tape, but I think that would get crushed in the mail. So I instead would recommend die cutting 2 more from the die, gluing it behind, cutting off the excess, and gluing it right in the corner. I then added that to a top folding white note card. So on this one you can see the embossed pattern up here and then that fun technique we did here. And here you'll be able to see that too. Now this doesn't have the dimension because I haven't glued it with the extra die cuts, but isn't that neat? I think it's neat to have the different corners. But it's the same pattern, but this one's textured and this one just has that really cool technique. So that was done using the 2 stamps from the Mixed Blooms, and the embossing folder was done in the corner. I'll be doing more with the embossing folder. Now, the sentiment that says love you. On this one, I would do love you again, but instead of silver, I would do gold cardstock. I just think it would look nice. All right. Okay, so the sentiment I used here, this is from the Secret Garden Retreat that I was talking about a little bit before. It is a class event that is happening in May with Altenew. I have a discount code for big savings in the description below. The savings show up when you use the discount code in the checkout. So if you want to see that. This is one of the products that's in it. I was allowed to show 1 product. I'm going to show 2. Sorry. I'm going to ask for forgiveness. Instead of asking for permission, I'm begging for forgiveness, I guess. So anyway, this is in the retreat, the Secret Garden Retreat. Hey, May, is it going to be exclusive to the Secret Garden Retreat or will they sell it later? May, if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Mike, can you watch for that answer? Because I probably won't see her. May from Altenew's there. Okay, so this is one of the die sets that comes in the retreat kit. There are lots of different products in there. I really liked this lantern. Now you'll notice there's this giant die here, and it's to cut out a tree.
Yes.
That's from, it's exclusive?
Well, she just said yes.
It is exclusive. Okay, you can only get these products through the retreat kit. So this, not the stuff I used over here, but just this peek I'm showing you. So in here, you can see that beautiful tree. There's a layering stencil set in the class kit that allows you, and look at this die cuts out that big thing. Then you can see there is this little lantern in here, but I used a few times today these sentiments. So there's love you and shine bright, and there's the words and the shadow dies. So I'm using those today. So again, all of this stuff, the mixed blooms, it's on the Altenew website, and it is 21% off right now. Yay. And this is a sneak peek for the Secret Garden retreat, and you can only get the products in that retreat. But if you have a different sentiment, you could definitely put any sentiment that you want there. So I'll have to finish this card up off screen. I really like this color. I think it's nice and unique, but that blue, isn't the blue gorgeous? Yeah, it is a willow tree. Is it a willow tree? Is that what they're called? I need JC here. Weeping willow. There you go. Okay, so that is one technique. Let's do another, shall we, Mike? Let's keep going with these images. Let's do some more with these images. So there is card number 1. Isn't that fun? Okay, so the next one, let's see. Hang on, I gotta think. All right, this time I'm using the azurite again. So I'm back to that bright blue. And I already stamped on here just to save some time. So I stamped the outline. I stamped with the azurite blue ink on the azurite blue cardstock. So it's faint, but it's definitely there. Now we're going to use the stencils to color that in. All right. Actually, let me think. Hold, please. Hold on. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to flip it over. Take these off here. Yeah, isn't the lamp neat? It's different. And you know what I want to do with it? I want to turn it into a hanging planter, you know? I used to have those all over my yard. It'd be nice to have. Okay, I am going to do something a little bit different than I thought I was. These are guides, alignment guides, I think they're called, for the stamp wheel. You've seen me use them for other things in my videos, but it allows me to put the piece of cardstock back in the exact same place when I come back. So I'm going to try something here. I haven't tried this yet. I'm going to take the large outline image. I think I'll do it like there. And I'll put it in, stamp it in that corner. Let me get the azurite blue ink. Isn't that color cardstock? Is this stamp wheel similar to the Misty, or how are they different? I use both the Misty and the stamp wheel. I've been using the Misty for a long, long time. The stamp wheel is a newer product, and there's just some fun things that you can do with it. You can use it for stamp positioning, like I'm doing here, but you can also rotate it, and the lid comes off. So like I showed before, you can put images on both sides and move them around. I've done videos showing some of the fun things that you can do with the stamp wheel. It's just a great tool. All right. So the reason I just re-stamped it is I want to be able to come back and stamp in the exact same position again later, if I so choose to. Yeah, it is a pretty blue color. Okay. I gotta find my mat. Here we go. Now, stencils. Let me find the stencils. Now, I should have labeled these stencils beforehand, but there are several stencils in here. I think there's 5. And remember I had mentioned that the cool thing about this kit is part of the stencils color in the image, that outline image that we're doing. Then some of the stencils do this little floral cluster. It's actually pretty big. And then some of the stencils do this big floral cluster. And these look completely different, right? And I didn't see that it included these the first time, and I like that it has all the different options, and I'm going to show these later. But right now, I'm just using the parts of the stencils that color in this image. And I will show you how to do them with normal ink in a moment. I'm going to do metallic ink first. Yes, the center of, one of the nice things about the stamp wheel is this right here inside the stamp wheel. This is a sticky mat, like a grip mat. It's the same, it's actually the same thing as this. It's just, this one's had a little bit more love than this one. And this is a bigger size, but so if you get the stamp wheel, you can use it in here to hold your paper in place while you stamp, or you can take it out and use it like I'm about to do. So you have those options. There's a lot of cool things about it. Okay, so it says on here stencil 1, and up here is part of coloring this in. And that guide says what to do. I'm just winging it. So let's see. I'm just going to turn it until I can see it. Now the rest of the stencils here the rest of the stencils that don't color this in, but do the different floral clusters, it's really cool. There's something really cool about them, so you want to see that. But those will be the last ones I do. All right, line that up. Yeah, Gina's machine it's easy to turn the crank on that, on the Intri-Cut. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. I am going to do, well, let me just show you the card. I wanted to use the word shine bright, the sentiment shine bright, with some shiny metallic inks. All right. So you could do what I'm doing with, like on a lighter color cardstock with regular dye inks. But I wanted to use the bright cardstock and have some shiny color on it to go with the shine bright sentiment. So I am using colored metallic inks. These are new ones from Lisa Horton. You've seen me use Lisa Horton's interference inks many times in videos. If you haven't watched my video on interference inks, I really encourage you to do so. I've done many lives with them. The interference inks are really unique because they look different on light color cardstock and dark color cardstock. They're a little bit different. These are newer ones. These are premium dye-based pigment, metallic pigment ink pads. So these are shiny, but they show up beautifully on white too. So you can use them with white, or you can use them on a darker color and get that shine. So you can see that shine on it. So this is a little different. This is very different than her interference inks. I'm not going to go into interference inks right now. I've done many videos. Those are like a unique beast. The Magic Inks video that Brianne just put up. Those look different on light and dark cardstock based on their properties. These are the new ones. I have them linked up here in the YouTube description. These are brand new. They have, they're bright colors with a metallic shine to them. So I mean, watch how bright this is. Isn't that pretty? And the nice thing is you can put some of that bright shiny color on darker color cardstock. Yeah, they're beautiful. I've been cutting. Sue, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Sue. I'd have to look at that later on. I can't do that right now, but I'll try to do it at the end of this video. How's that? All right. So I have the stencil lined up. I'm going to use these to add ink to it. Now, when I use the pigment inks, I like to use a craft or a foam applicator. So I'm using Tim Holtz tiny blending tools. These have a foam applicator. You can use brushes with these, but you have to designate those brushes to pigment ink. So I just have these that are designated to these metallic ink pads. So these are color metallic ink pads. So I'm using, what I like to do is very generously dab the color over the opening. I feel like when you dab it, when you pounce it like this, you get more of the shine left behind. So I did some green on here. I'll do green up here. And then for the, let's see. What about for the flower? Let's do pink. The tray that I have my inks in, this tray right here is an ink stand, and she now makes them for the Lisa Horton ink size, which is a square, but she also makes them for other inks, like the fresh dye ink, the circle. Brianne, who is the person helping me in the comments, she is the inventor. This tray over here that I have them in, this is a Spellbinders craft stacks. All right, so I put green, I put pink. You'll see it in a moment. Now it's not, the pink that shows up on here is not going to be bright as this pink because these are not completely opaque. If you want completely opaque or closer to opaque, the interference inks would be. But these are neat because you can use, you end up with orange. This is orange ink with orange shine. Interference ink is different than that. All right. It's an ink, yes, this is an inkstand. This is my brand new one that I got, that she sent me. Thank you, Brand, to use with these ink pads. I'm going to dab a little purple at the center too. Why not? And then over here, there's a little bit of a doohickey right here. I got to look to see what part it is. Yeah, let's do orange. Orange, orange, orange. Yeah, these are tiny, which is nice. These are the tiny version. The ones that are bigger are called mini, but these are the tiny. This is the Mixed Blooms Craft Your Life kit from Altenew. It's an older one, but I highly recommend it because it's on sale right now, and you're going to see so many different looks that we get today because there's a lot more in it than I realized when I first looked at it. Okay, so far you can see that shine building, but it will intensify as it dries. Okay, so now that was the first part, and you shift it down to the second part. There's a line there, so I know. These are the new Lisa Horton metallic inks. These are not her interference. These are her metallic inks. So she had come out with metallic inks, like a gold, silver, and copper that I've used many times in videos. Many, many, many times. And let me just get this off here. I made a mess over there. Don't do what I just did. I'll fix it though. She came out with interference inks a while ago, but now she has these metallic, she came out with gold, silver, and copper metallic inks like before Christmas, and I use those a lot. Now these are colored metallic inks, which I think is really cool. See, I'm trying to do too many things at once. This is what happens to me. Let's try a little orangey poo. Let's do orange and pink on this flower.
How long does it take to dry?
It takes some time to dry, but what I will do is just heat set it. If you have any concerns, you can always spray it with a fixative, but I don't. So I put orange over that. That is pumpkin. And then I think I will put some of the Love Struck, which is just so pretty, like at the center. I'm not too concerned about it picking up that orange. It'll be fine. It'll live. Now over here, let's do, I don't know, let's do a teal color for some of my leaves. This is Verdigris. Let's see. When using Lisa Horton inks, is a certain paper required? Nope, not at all. You can use whatever inks you want. So this one probably will be a little more subtle because the color is very close to the color of the cardstock, but that's okay. So I did like a...
Hey.
What? Jeff Lindbergh has arrived. Well, Jeff, I'm glad you're here, Jeff. This is the mojito color. Jeff likes mojitos. I know he likes mojitos. Jeff, I'm glad you're here. Now here I'm going to do some, let's do Foos Gold. I'm just kind of switching around. One of those little, oh, that's a cool color. I don't know what color to do there. Let's do more pink. Why not? Because we can. So anyways, these inks will stay wet a bit because I talked about this in my last live. Pigment inks mostly sit kind of on top of the paper, and that's why they're a little more opaque. Now these are a bit different because they have some dye-based properties to them. So some of the color absorbs. So that's why it turns out so nice on white too. But look at that shimmer. Isn't that beautiful? Lisa Horton is here. Lisa, you can answer all the questions that I don't know the answers to. Lisa, I'm just bragging on your inks here. They're just incredible. And I'm just playing with these and I'm having so much fun. It's not gonna look great yet. Just give me some time. Give me some time to finish. Okay, now let's do this here. I probably should have picked which colors I use a little differently, but hey, you live and learn. Hi, Simon. Jeff just said hi to you, Mike.
Yep, I said hi before.
Jeff, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods in 17 days, and you won't be there. I'm so bummed. Okay, let's do some yellow at the center here. And then we'll do some green. Can you clear emboss with these inks? Yes, you can. I think it might take a little bit of the shine away. Maybe Lisa would know. If you all have questions about these inks, Lisa's here. Tag her, because she's the creator. She's the smarty pants here. I just play with them. Yay. Okay, so these again are her metallic inks. If you're interested in her interference inks, which have like two-tone kind of fun to them, you'll have to check some of my other lives. If you want a good white pigment ink, as I mentioned, I do really recommend the Cloud White from Altenew. I just need a re-inker for mine. I need to clean these. I don't want to clean. Who wants to clean? You're going, wait, Jeff, you're leaving town to avoid me? No, you better not. You know that you're my favorite. Okay, so I did some metallic ink there. This is gonna look kind of because I covered up my stamping. So it's kind of splotchy. I mean, you can't see the detail anymore. I'm gonna heat set this for just a moment. Sorry if it gets loud. Yeah, these are metallic colors. I do recommend, if you have any kind of ink with pigment properties, that use different brushes for them. So I will actually use the same inking tool, the same foams for my interference as I do for these, and it'll be just fine. Yeah, I go to Disney a lot. It is good for my anxiety. Okay, so I just gave it a little bit of a heat set. Now, it would probably need more, but that's okay. Now, and I got a little bit of metallic ink over here. I'm using my paper sander to remove that. I'll probably end up cutting this out, but you can remove some of it that way. Where's the best place to order these inks? I have them linked at the top of my YouTube description. It's like on the list. But I want those detail outline to come back. This place is a mess. Okay, Lisa says she keeps her colors separate. See, it's so nice to have the expert here. All right, so I placed that back in the exact same spot. Now, I'm gonna ink up the stamp with the same ink. So this will be dye ink on top of the pigment ink. It won't want to completely dry quickly because it's on top of the pigment ink, but if I heat set, it'll be fine. I'm going to Disney World. I like going to Disney World because Jeff's there. Until he's not. Okay. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Do you see that shine? Oh. You know, it's the little things in life. So let me clean this off. I need a wet cloth, but I don't have one. My fingers have been blue all day because of all this. How well do they blend? They blend wonderfully. Let me just show you real quick. These do blend nice because that's something that I was playing with before. So let's do a little bit of pink here. Hang on. And then I like using these for direct to paper and for stenciling the most. And then here, I'll put some purple down, but then I'm gonna come back with that pink and blend it. Oh, that's pretty. Now pink. I usually start with the darker in this. Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous. So pretty. So you could do blending on backgrounds. You can do over stencils. You could do over stamping. You can go like over raised areas on an embossing folder. They're really fun. Okay, but I got more to share, so I will be doing more with those inks, I promise. All right, so now I did this outline. Look how pretty that is. So these are pigment inks. They are different than dye inks. They'll kind of sit more on top of the paper. They do have dye base to it, so they do absorb also. But it gives you that metallic shine on top of your paper. Can you buy the gold Lisa Horton ink by itself. No, I think you still can only get it as part of that. It's like a set of 3, silver, gold, and I think it's copper.
Yeah.
I think it's still only sold that way, but these are all sold, these colored ones are sold individually. Look how bright those are. Yes, these metallic inks are new. So she's got a bunch of different inks, but the ones I've used in videos were interference inks, and I've used those many times. I call them magic inks. I think they're wonderful. I didn't use those today. I used her new metallic inks. I don't know how new they are. I'm not sure. Brianne just put a link. Can you use these inks on press plates? You sure could. You sure could. Okay, so now I did this. Now I didn't dry that completely, but I want to cut it out because I got those boogers over there. We don't want boogers. Oh, sorry. Somebody's always offended by that. We don't want the fingerprints. Now because that ink's probably wet and I don't want it to get, well, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to cut it out. I can clean my cutting plate afterwards. Let's see. Trying to catch some questions. So if you have like a good gold metallic ink, these inks will be similar to those, but with color. Does that make sense? I have no idea about watercolor with these inks because I'm not the person to ask for that kind of thing. Hi, Jana. I would ask if Lisa's still here, maybe she'll be able to tell you. Okay, so I cut that out. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? But wait. Stuff makes me happy. I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it inside. Let's put a little bit of, I'm putting some Altenew tape runner on the back, which will help it stay in place. So what I'm going to do here, doobie-doo, is line it up. I can see through it and line it up. I didn't have to die cut that. The only reason I die cut it, oh yes, you can mix with water, she said. The only reason I die cut it is because I got those little fingerprints. Let's see how this lines up. So I can see through. It's not very well lined up. All right. Okay. So this is going to give me a different look. And wait until you see the next example. It's a completely different look. Okay. It's good enough. Line that up. I'll get my Intri-Cut out. I still have it set to 3D emboss. It shifted a bit, but we got more to do, so it's okay. You can, yes, you can faux bleach too. Oh, Lisa. Okay, so we all need to go to Lisa's channel and see some of the cool things you can do. Oh, look at that. So now it has the texture too. Isn't that cool? Isn't that beautiful? So I did that on here. I did that on there, but I didn't die cut. I just did the embossing folder on it. But I really like it with the die cut. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, let's see. So this I would put on, I would pop up by adding some extra die cuts behind it and put it right into the corner. Isn't that gorgeous? Now this is one of those that's so much prettier in real life because you get that shine. It's so hard to pick up. But it's neat because you tilt it and you don't see much and then pow, pow. I really get excited about this stuff. Ask Mike.
Yep.
You should have seen me last night. I was the happiest camper because I was organizing felt in my Altenew storage pockets and I could not have been happier. It was unbelievable. All right, look at that. I mean, come on. So can you see that shine in the texture from the embossing folder? Okay, so I would glue that, trim it down, and then the Shine Bright sentiment, which I think is really a nice sentiment with these shiny metallics, that is going to be from that die set. That's a sneak peek. It's part of the Secret Garden Retreat that's coming in May. All right. So this is exclusive to that, but they said I could share, I could use one thing from the Secret Garden retreat to show you guys, and I was strategic. I chose this because I could use the Shine Bright and Love You, but I could also show you a peek at the stencils, layering stencils that are included in the class without actually showing them to you because it's in the packaging. And there's the big die to cut it out. Then all these pieces make this little lantern. But I just used the Shine Bright, cut it from Altenew Brushed Gold Cardstock, which is my favorite. I just got a bunch more of it. See, I'll show you, just to prove to you that I like it, and I go through it quickly. I used the Brushed Gold for the Shine Bright on that, and the shine here is just so pretty. Isn't that fun? Now, if you did this on black cardstock, you'd see more of the true color. You'd see more of the true color because a little bit of that blue shows through. Okay, yeah, I answered some of those. Do you cut out cut into the magnetic mat instead of the clear plate? I do, Kathy, I do. What's the best spray to clean your stencils? I use, so that's with that. Okay, and I like that it has a different look. You know, this has that, this piece is prettier. The fun shine to it, where this is like this muted kind of class. It's fun to do different things. The best way I do to clean my stencils is I have rubbing alcohol in my Spellbinders mist bottle, and I just do one mist, and I take a dry cloth and clean it off. And that is the fastest way to clean your stencils. I only clean my stencils and my glass work surface with rubbing alcohol. Never clean your stamps with rubbing alcohol. You want to use a stamp cleaner for that. This one's dirty. Okay. Next, let's do more with that embossing folder since that's so cool. I'm going to show you. I haven't finished this card, this next one, so I can't show you a peek of what we're doing, but it'll be fun. Yes. I fly throughout it. I fly through everything, Jeff. You know that. I will take a break and show you real quick about my felt because folks are asking. I don't have it completely done. Mike, you might have to add these pockets. They're the 9, let me see. Yeah, the storage pocket. Hang on, I'm going to add it because I know people are going to ask. Oh, nope, they're not sold out. Hang on. Hold, please. Here we go. They're the, hang on. Is Kathy here? Kathy, I thought you'd be watching football. Is there football on today? I wouldn't know. It's the 9 by 11.5. Okay, so these pockets, I haven't figured this out. Brianne started doing this too, and she said that she really, it's worked well for her. So these work great with cardstock. Like you can put cardstock in these. These would be excellent for storing cardstock. That's really what they're meant for. So this is the 9 by 11.5. Oh. The 9 by 11.5 neat and nifty storage pockets from Altenew. And they have this little flap that tucks in. And what I will be doing is putting my felt in it. I put a label on the top. And then this, I'm not going to do this big a one, but I'm going to cut an oval of felt and glue it across the edge so that when it's on the shelf, I can see the felt out here. Does that make sense? Yep. So that's my plan. So these are the Altenew 9 by 11.5 neat and nifty storage pockets. They work great for cardstock. These are new. They have them in different sizes, but this size is newest, and I'm telling you, I wish I had these long ago because they're great for storing your specialty cardstocks and little scraps in it and stuff. So that's what I'll be doing. I will do a video once because I got other things I'm doing to organize it too. Because I'm an over-organizer, and then it all falls apart. All right. Okay. Now back to using the embossing folder. We're going to use the embossing folder, the die, and the stencils this time. So I'm skipping the stamps now, and let's do the embossing folder and die. Yeah, they're nice. They're durable. They're durable, and they have these like reinforced edges, you know, like, so they're not going to tear. They're great. But Altenew has a lot of different storage stuff that's really nice. And I've used different ones over the years, and I use different ones for different things. Okay, I am first going to do some partial die cutting. Let me just show you this piece that I'm creating. I'm creating this piece where there's like a cut edge, and this has texture to it. I don't know if you can see it. See the texture? And the stenciling. So let's do that partial die cut edge first. This is not hard to do. I want like, I want to do it like that. And I only want this part to cut, not all up here. So we're going to do partial die cutting. Super easy to do. You can do this with any die cut machine. I'll be using my Empress now. And I will put this down so that this edge of this top cutting plate lines up with where I want the cutting to stop. So I only want it to cut what's under here. I don't want it to cut up here. So I'm going to leave all this hanging out, and I'll hold this and run it through my die cut machine. And you can do this with whatever die cut machine you have. Yeah. Actually, I want less. I'm going to do less. I'm going to do just that much underneath, because I'm going to cut it smaller. Yeah, maybe. No, I'm going to do it all. What the heck? Okay, so I'm only cutting part of it. This is called partial die cutting. I have a lot of videos showing ways to do this. It's such a great way to change up what your dies give you. This will give us kind of like a border. So now see how I've got that border there. Now I am going to take this and put it in here and line it up. So I line up this bottom edge with that bottom of the floral edge. Let me see. Let me line it up and see if you can see it. It goes in here crooked, but that's okay. So you see how I line the white up, the die cut edge with the edge of the embossing. So I'll go ahead and close that. Now this, you've seen me run through my Intri-Cut many times. If you have an Empress, I find a good way to use the 3D embossing folders from Altenew in it is to do a cutting plate, the magnetic plate, the folder, and then the metal shim. Yeah, Lisa's inks are really cool, and I just touched the surface on those metallic inks. I honestly didn't do any research on them. I'm just going by the experience that I have. However, you saw how beautiful they were. So I'll do more in future videos. All right, so look at that. Isn't that pretty? And it's just right up to the edge. I love it. Okay. Now, let's use the stencils without the stamp. So I could have done the stamping there, but I'm not. Instead, we're just going to do the stencils with the embossing folder, because I wanted to show you the many different ways you can use this. All right, so doobie-doo. Gonna line this up. If you were smarter than me, you would mask off the edges, and you are smarter than me, because I'm not doing it. Actually, you know what I could do? This little alignment guide from earlier, I'll use that. Okay, get the blue ink off. And I can put this right up here to mask off those edges. Yay, and it suctions onto this. This is the Altenew grip mat. You've seen me use this many times in videos. All right, I'm gonna do some fast stenciling here because, yeah, I still have more to show. It's 4:06, and I have a lot more. I probably won't be able to get it all done, but we will try. Okay, I've got my ink stand for my fresh dye inks. Let's do Pink Pearl first. I love this color. I use this one quite often. And I'm not going to do great inking here because, yeah, I'm going to run out of time. I'm using my Altenew mini blending brushes here, which you've seen me use many times in videos. Putting pink pearl down over the flower. Now this one over here, let's change that up and let's do Rubelite. That's one of my favorite colors. Well, here, I'll get these out. Let me get some greens out too. Let's do Razzleberry. Razzleberry is very dark pinkish purple. It's such a good color. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Then we'll do some greens. So I'm just inking this up. Oh yes, if you are interested in inkstand, in the description below, Bran gives a discount code. So you can save on the inkstand. And this, she now has it for all these, she has it for all the different inks. All right, so I did some greens on here. I think I'm gonna come in with some darker green too on it. All right. Mike, are there questions while I make a mess of myself here?
Yeah. Do you heat set dye ink as well as pigment ink?
I don't. I never heat set. Well, I shouldn't say that. If I'm about to, like I'll heat set black pigment or dye ink sometimes. I'm making a mess. But I don't generally. You don't need to. Dye inks absorb quickly into the paper, so you really don't need to. I'm going to come in with some Coral Bliss here. Is it better? Oh, hit me up with another question.
You didn't need to heat set the white ink? I think that's an old.
Oh, yeah. So that white ink that I did earlier, you should really heat set it. I didn't, just to save time, but it'll dry on its own. It's no big deal. And then these little guys up here. Just doing this quickly. Okay, so there we go. Ah, so good. Okay, now. So the nice thing is see how it, okay, if it line, this is something cool that Altenew always, often does. See how the angle of the stencil is here? With how I have it lined up on my paper? Watch, if I stay at that same angle and just shift, see it, how I'm not rotating it, I'm just shifting it up and down, it'll line back up. So you don't have to keep spinning your stencil to try to figure it out. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense. If I was smart, I would be cleaning the stencil off in between, but no one said I was smart. Who makes the embossing folder? So this embossing folder, the stencils, the stamps, everything that I'm using today, except for some of the sentiments, is from the Altenew Mixed Blooms kit. It's one kit that has it all, which I think is wonderful. All right, now, would you ever consider doing a video on things you prepare to work on when you go on vacation? That's a good idea. I should do that sometime. I will do that sometime. Right now, mostly what I do, most of the time I take some sort of stitching. So I'll take either like pre-cut stitched pre-die cut panels that I did with Spellbinders stitching dies, and I stitch on paper, or I use dies that cut felt and cut little holes on felt, and I stitch on felt. That's what I've been doing mostly lately, and that's why I'm hoarding all the felt again. I used to do it years ago, and I'm just kind of getting back into it. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm getting more flustered answering questions and doing stuff today than normal. I think maybe it's the cold meds. I tell you, I've been sick more this year than I have in a long time. All right, any other questions, Mike, while I over ink?
Yeah.
While I think too much.
How do you store your Tim Holtz tiny blending tools?
Oh, I need to finish organizing them, but I'll show this while I stencil. This is where they'll be. I've got to reorganize them. This is a lipstick organizer, and it works great for the tiny Tiny tools. Works really well, actually. So that is, there's tons of them on Amazon and so on, but I picked one that was cheap and it worked great. How do I store my inks from different companies? I have, because of how I work, I have my inks separated by companies. I think if I were just crafting for fun, I probably would mix them and just do kind of like a rainbow order kind of thing. But everybody does something different. It's really...
I don't know if she's asking about what you put them in.
Oh, I put my inks, all of my inks are in Organize More ink organizers. I find the quality of theirs by far the best. I've been using them for years. I've had them do custom things for me. I have some of them built into pullouts here. I love Organize More. People are such nice people too. Such good people. There are a few other places that make them, and I've just always gone back to Organize More. Anne Marie said, did my son's girlfriend like all the cards with the hearts on them? Anne Marie, you would assume I gave them to her. No, I finished them last night. They're in a container to give to her. I went overboard. I made a lot.
She better like them.
I made a lot, but I also made extras that I'm going to give to a woman who volunteers for leading wildlife and young life. So I have a lot of them done. I have not given her hers. I'm hoping to take them to her house this week. Let's hope she likes them. Here's the thing. I probably will never know if she doesn't. Okay. I'm a little frazzled, sorry. All right, let's just do the center of this. This one's taking me too long. I'm spending too much time on it. Doing a little, I like to do like a, paper bag is my favorite to do at the center of flowers. But if you want the expert on coloring, this one's not, no, that's right. The expert on picking colors and shading right on flowers, JC Gaspar is the one you want to talk to. He has a flower coloring class on Altenew that I have heard people rave about. I haven't taken it, but I've heard great things about it. Hi, Libby. Libby, is all the snow gone from where you are? I hope it is. Ours is hanging on there. It's driving me crazy. And now let's do this. Yeah, I enjoy the stitching on cards. So the reason I like stitching on cards is it's something different. It's something that's easy to take with you. You can't always take like all of this with you, you know? So there we go. Okay, good enough. So I did some quick stenciling there. Let me move that all out of the way. I don't think I'm doing any more with those. Oh yeah, I am. Move all these colors. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Now, I've done a lot of inking on this. This isn't necessary, but one thing I do a lot, if I stencil over some embossing, I just go back and I line it back up and run it through again, just to give it a deeper impression. So I'm just gonna line it back up. I can kind of feel it pop in place a little bit. This is a risk. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'll run this through. Oh, Puerto Rico. I want to be in Puerto Rico. Okay, so again, the whole bundle I'm using today, everything besides the sentiments, are from the mixed blooms bundle, Craft Your Life kit from Altenew, and it's on sale right now. Look at that. See how pretty that is? Look at that texture. I just love it. So what I was planning to do on this, oh, and here's something else you can do. If you want a little shimmer, so I showed you metallic inks before that are pretty intense metallic. If you want subtle, this is a good option. This one is from Altenew. I've been using this for years. It's the Enchanted Gold, and it gives you like a soft gold shimmer. So can you see how it gives you a shimmer? So what you can do, if you want to, is like, I'm trying to find the stencils. Let me clean this. You can go over your ink colors, your inking that you've done on your stencil, go over it with the shimmer and just add a little shine to it. So I'm using, again, that Shine Bright, so I thought it'd be nice to have a little shimmer over it. So I could take this, line it up again, that's what I've done, and then I've got this shimmer here, and I just kind of rub it over the openings. And this is it's not as opaque, and I think mine probably needs re-inking too. So it gives you just a little bit of shimmer over your image. So let me show you. So if you look, you'll see some of the petals have shimmer. Isn't that gorgeous? Gosh, I wish you could see it better. It's like a gold shimmer. So I will probably go through and do that to most of the flower, probably all the flowers on here, not the leaves, but just the flowers. So you just put a little and kind of just drag it on. You can use a blending brush with this if you want, but I just have one inking tool here that's designated to it. You can kind of see the gold a little more here. Let me show you. Isn't that pretty? See the shimmer? Can you see the shimmer on that pink flower? So it just catches the light nicely. All right. So I will go back and do that. I will take pictures of these cards and show them on my blog sometime. It usually takes me a while editing the videos. These lives down to a shortened live, it takes a while, so it'll take me some time to do, but I'll get it up and I'll show photos of it completed. But I have other things I want to show you. I just love that shine. So what I plan to do, so this is the one I did today. I made this one a few days ago. I trimmed the sides down. See how it's not as wide? So I could have it kind of float on this background here. Let me trim it down. I'll finish this one off. I'll save the other one for later. I didn't do the shimmer on this one, but let me show you what I would do. How I will finish this, because I still have more techniques I want to show you. Okay, this is an older embossing folder. This is Diamond Stars from Altenew. And I just think it's one of those really cool ones that is just nice in a background. So this is a top folding note card, and I just opened it up, put it into the folder, ran it through like you've seen me do a few times, and it gives you that texture on the front of the note card. So what I plan to do is take this that I trimmed down, and I'll pop it up there. So it probably will have lots of foam tape behind it. Cover it completely with foam tape in the background. And then that Shine Bright will fit nicely right there. So that's what and I love that texture in the background. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I took some cold meds, so yeah, I'm a little off, forgive me. But it's Sunday, we're allowed to be off. So this Shine Bright is that sneak peek from the Altenew Secret Garden Retreat that's coming up. And I did it with gold. And isn't that pretty on there? Now, I'm not going to glue this down now because I want to go back and add shimmer to this. Now, you could, in fact, skip. Hang on, let me find it. Where'd I put it? Where'd I put my shimmer? I put it somewhere. Here it is. You don't even need the stencils. I could just go and do just drag it on wherever I want it. Oh, that's so pretty. So I just put some at the center of this flower. Oh, it's gorgeous. Can you see that shimmer on there? I wish you could see it. It's gorgeous. And then this will get popped right up on there with the sentiment kind of floating below it. All right. The foam tape that I'll use behind this, what I'll do is I'll flip it over and I'll put back-to-back pieces of foam tape. It uses quite a bit of foam tape, but if you just do like a strip here and a strip here, it'll get crushed in the mail and it won't look as nice. The foam tape that I like is the Altenew foam tape. Whenever this goes on sale, I always mention it over on my sales page because it is a great foam tape. So that's what I would put back there. I don't use foam tape a ton. I usually like to stack up paper. It's a great way to use up leftover paper too. But in this case, because of the shape, I would probably just use this. All right. So there, oh, that gold. I wish you all could see that shimmer. Does it pick up at all? I hope it does. It's just gorgeous. Look at, do you see it on this flower here? So the shimmer one is the Altenew Enchanted Gold Pigment ink. I've had it for a long time. I probably should try to re-ink that bad boy, but you all know I need to re-ink. I need to re-ink. That's one of my problems lately. So that's the Enchanted Gold. They have another one. What's it called? Antique Gold, I think it's called. And that is more, yeah, Antique Gold, that's more solid, like a more traditional gold metallic ink pad. This is more of, I think it gives like a shimmer. It's really pretty. Oh good, I'm glad it shows a little bit. It shows more in real life. All right, now, so far I've used the stamp set, I've used the embossing folder, I've used the stencils that color in those, and I did it in different ways, right? Now I wanted to show you something completely different that you can get from this kit, because remember, I said there was this die included in the kit. This is in the Mixed Blooms kit that I showed you at the beginning of this video. And it includes this die that creates all these great little flowers and stems that you can use to decorate a card. You can use them accents, you can scatter them along with this. There's a lot of examples on the Altenew website that has them added to this image. But I did something a little bit different to give a completely different look. So this is a very different look than the other pieces I've made so far with this kit, and that's one of the things that caught my eye about it. So this is just a neat die that's included in this Craft Your Life kit. All right, so let me show you how I did this. It wasn't hard to do. Let's get started here. So I started with a piece of white cardstock, and you can measure. I'm gonna eyeball. I'm gonna put this, I want it to be kind of mirror. We're gonna do kind of a mirror kind of thing where we have it up here and then we have it down here. So you can measure where the halfway point is, but I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna put it, so it's kind of got that straight line there. All right, and then we'll run that through. Let me put this in here because I think, run that through. Okay, so it's just a different look from the other things we've gotten from this kit. Isn't that fun? So I cut it up here, and I can keep all these little doodads, right? And I can use those on a card. You could put double-sided tape on the back of this white cardstock first, so that, that just shot across the room, so that these would be little stickers, which would make it easier, right? But I'm not gonna use these little white doodads right now. I'm just demonstrating this. So I did that on the top. Now I'll rotate my die, and I'll do it down here. So let's put it like that, and then run that through again. So these little flowers you could use scattered on some of the other cards or for something else. Doodads, yes, they're doodads. So now look at that. You have this fun panel. Now, the cool thing is you could put whatever you want behind that. You could put, like a pattern paper. Maybe you have a stripe pattern paper you could put behind there. You could put an embossing folder pattern behind it. So this embossing folder here, say I used that texture and maybe like a blue cardstock, and then put that on top and that texture and color would show through. That would be really neat. What I did, and did not take long to do, is I did some ink blending. You could also do strips of little cardstock. So you could put like, build cardstock strips and then put this over it, and that would show through. But I just did some quick ink blending. So I'll do that now. I'll do different colors. You know what? I'm going to use the colors I have sitting right here in front of me because it'll save me time of digging out some. Let's do Razzleberry first. I have a piece of white cardstock here. Ooh, I could use the metallic inks. I don't think I'm going to, but you could use the metallic inks. That would be pretty showing through, right? I'm starting with Razzleberry, and I'm going to do this very quick, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm using the large Altenew blending brush. This is the brush that I like to use when I want to put a lot of ink down over a large area, especially a blended background. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. You can't really... The camera kind of blows it out, but it's really pretty. So these are Altenew's Fresh Dye Ink. They used to have a crisp dye ink, and I think they still make Harriet. They are very similar. They're replacing all of the crisp dye inks with the fresh dye ink. The inks are very similar. This ink is a little more viscous, a little thicker, which makes it really nice for blending. Actually, I'm not going to blend on here. It makes it really nice for blending. When I ink off of the edge, I prefer to work on my glasswork surface. So these inks are great for blending, and they stamp really nice. I'm a big fan of the fresh dye inks. I use them a lot in videos. I also really like that they come in color families like light, medium, dark, and extra dark. So I'm just putting some pink down here. I could go put some orange around the edge, but I'm not going to. Now watch. Look how fun that is when you just put that on top. Isn't that cool? So that's what I did here, but on this one I used blues and turquoise. So this, if you ever have like an inky background that you're not happy with, you could do something like this, where you just have it showing through little openings. It'd be fun to do a mist on here, or even do some of the shimmer on here first so that it's shiny. So there's a shine coming through. I just did a quick example of bold color. Now what I think, you know what would be cool? I put this on a blue card. This is Tidal Blue. No. This is Starlight from Altenew. It's not as bright as that azurite. It's more of a toned down blue. I love this color too. So this is, I made a note card out of the Altenew Starlight for that. But another thing you could do is just trim this down so that part of the inked edge shows. Then you wouldn't have to put it on colored cardstock. So that's something else you could do. All right, so I just glued that all onto a card. I used blues and greens on this one. I put little gems at the center of each of the flowers. Does it take a few minutes to do? Yes. But if you use a pickup tool, like the This Perfect Picker, I think they call it, from Altenew, you can easily place them in to the centers of the flowers. If you don't want to do that, you could just use a gold gel pen to put gold dots at the center, or white dots would be fun too. Now this sentiment on here, that is a sneak peek. I remember how I said I was going to beg for forgiveness later. I'm going to show two things from the Secret Garden. So this is another stamp set that's in the Secret Garden. There's a lot in that. Remember, you can go to the website, and in the video they show you a peek of everything. This is in the Secret Garden, so you can only get it in the Secret Garden class kit. They've got this kit in there, and there are coordinating dies for these words. So I use Thank You from this. I stamped it with black ink on white cardstock and used the coordinating die to cut it out. Look at that, that's cool. Look at that example there. And the die set has these labels. So these are, this sentiment, the sentiment only is from the Altenew, oh, I love that. Isn't that fun? The Altenew Secret Garden Retreat. It's exclusive to that. They said I could use a little bit in this video today. I really like those little stitches. Oh, that's in the stamp set. It is in the stamp set. I didn't even see that. Oh, I'm gonna have to use that. So this is from the Secret Garden Retreat, but the die that I used here, that is from that same bundle I keep using over and over again that's on sale. The mixed blooms. Isn't that fun? But I just really like this. I wanted to show you both. All right, so that's another example, completely different than what we've done, right? Using the same bundle. I'll finish off this pink one sometime. Yay! All right. Next, oh, I still have time. Next. Now, remember how I said in this stencil set were the stencils that allowed you to color in this image or add color to the embossing folder, which I've shown you those two things, right? There's more on here that has nothing to do with the stamp set and gives you a completely different look, this is another one. It's kind of like that die I just did. It's something different that's thrown in there for variety, for versatility. And this is, I missed this when this first came out, and now I'm impressed that they included all this because it's more bang, more value for what you get in the kit. Anyway, so I'm going to do this one here. Can you see the detail on that? Isn't that fun? And then the Shine Bright is on the inside. All right, so I'm going to do this stenciling, and that is from that mixed, I'll just leave it here, that mixed blooms stencil set, because all of these come with it, and yes, it's on sale. All right, so let's do a white panel. Now in the mixed blooms, this is like the paper that goes, or the brochure thing that comes with the packaging. It shows you in here, the first stencil and a half allow you to color in that stamped image, which I've done. Then stencils 2 and 3 allow you to create this floral bundle. And then stencils 4 and 5 allow you to create this one. So I'm going to do that one right here. So it's stencils 4 and 5. And you'll see how, even though they pack a lot of images onto these stencils to save you money, so you don't need more stencils, like it doesn't cost more. They pack a lot on, but it's easy to figure it out. All right, so stencil number 4. They have little etched numbers on the top, which I normally write over with black Sharpie and put a piece of tape on, but I didn't do that yet today. All right, so there's stencil number 4 up here. And this does 2 flowers. And there's an etched line between, so I know I'm only doing these first, then I move to this, then I move to this, and actually labels them C1, C2, D1, so you can follow that guide. But I find you don't even need the guide. So I think I'll put it like right about there. I'm kind of looking at my example. So the 2 big flowers will be here. I have all the pinks out. I'm going to do the pinks because I've got them all out. I'll do pink and coral. So let's do a coral first. So I'm only doing these 2. You can always use something to mask off the rest of the stencil if you're concerned, but I'm using smaller blending brushes so that I can keep from going off the edge. You can get a little more control. Mike left me. Oh, the mist bottle that I was using, it has rubbing alcohol in it, and that's what I use to clean stencils and my glasswork surface. I do not clean anything else with it. You don't want to clean like the script mat or your stamps with it because those are, rubbing alcohol is not good for. And the mist bottle that I use is from Spellbinders, the Mighty Mister. I think that's what they call it. So I just did my favorite, which I mentioned, Pink Pearl. And now I'm going in with some Coral Bliss and adding just a little bit of darker color at the center. So that is the first part. Now watch this. I don't have to rotate to go to the next part. I don't have to rotate. I'm just going to peel this off and shift it. I just go shift. I'm just shifting. I'm not turning. I'm just shifting. So I can shift it. See how it's still straight with my paper and line it up. Now the cool thing is there are etched lines that help you to line things up too. So you don't have to work too hard at it. So for this one, I'm going to do lots of the Coral Bliss. Hey everybody, what's for dinner tonight? Because my husband's out of town. He's the cook. So I have to order something. I'm not going to cook. Isn't that sad? It is what it is. And now I'll put some of the heartbeat at the center. Oh, I love this. I love like the artistic look of these. Now I can peel it off and my stencil will stay straight and won't rotate at all. It's just gonna stay straight, and I move this up, and this is gonna go up here, and you can follow along with it. This goes, wait, no. Yeah, hold on. Let me think. Oh, it goes in this nook here. There we go. And you see how it's still straight with the paper. Salad. I had salad for lunch though. So no salad for me for dinner. I do have half of it left over, so I could have that instead, but. All right, so this is Pinkalicious, which is I think the most true pink of all the pinks in the Altenew line. They have a lot of them. And I'll do pinks on here too, just to save some time. Normally I would probably do all these different areas, different shades, or different, like do one purple or whatever, but just to save time here, I'm doing them all the same. Now I'll put some of the darker here and there, which you could skip if you want to. And now I just shift it up and see it's staying parallel to my paper the whole time. Now here I'll do lots of this and then a darker shade too. Mike, are there questions? Yeah. Jennifer's having a hard time answering questions on cold medicine and saying constantly. I'm sorry about that. Oops, I forgot.
What spray bottle do you use for water and alcohol?
So this is, as I mentioned, this is the Spellbinders Mighty Mister. For my water, I want to get a second one and have it just like labeled that it's the water. But right now I have my water in just a Tim Holtz Distress Sprayer. But I would like to have water in one of these too. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Okay, now stencil number 5. Doobie-doo. Let's see. It stays, you just look for the nooks that fit in, but hold on, let me show you. See, it has, this is always so hard to show. Do you see the etching there? So the etching of the flowers there, so I can line it up with the flower I've already done. So I can just line that up. Gotta tilt myself here. And just, there we go. You'll see it kind of fit in place, but notice my stencil's still parallel. Does that make sense? Do you need both crisp and dye inks and fresh dye ink? No, I don't think you do. Here's the thing. The crisp dye inks are going away. If you are happy with yours and you can get re-inkers, by all means stick with them. I just don't want to keep using the old crisp dye inks, the oval pads anymore, because they're not as available. And I really do like the fresh dye ink formulation. But, you know, we only have so much we can get, right? I would say stick with the crisp. It's what you have. And then when new colors of the fresh dye ink come out that you like, add that in. You can use all of your different dye inks together, all the different brands, all the different lines. Yeah, the Razzleberry is great. This is the Mixed Bloom set. Now I'm going to come in here at the center with, this is the oldest of, well, not that old, but it was the original metallic ink from Lisa Horton that came gold, silver, and copper in a set. And I've used this many times in videos. It's just a good gold. So let me show you what it's like on a scrap here. I mean, it's intense gold. So I'm going to put that at the center here, at the center of these flowers, just so there's a little shine there. I'm doing a little bit of shine to everything. I could have used one of the color ones too. Oh gosh, that's so pretty. All right, now I'm going to shift it and line up the remaining part. Oh, this goes to, let's see. Oh, here. Sorry, I have to think sometimes. I don't like thinking. There we go. This does the rest of the greenery here. That I will not ink. But see how it's still parallel to the paper? Get it lined up. I don't want to ink that part right there, so I'm going to just stick this right over it. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do a different green. Let me get some different greens here. I like to change up my greens. So I have different shades. Yeah, the metallics are really fun. So if you missed it, I used Lisa's new colored metallic inks. I've used her traditional gold, silver, copper many times in videos, but now, that doesn't go there, does that? Nope, I shouldn't have done that. But now I have the colored metallics, which I'm very excited about. I've used her interference many times too. This should do darker. I'll make that darker too. Just to change it up a bit. Now there are some flower centers here, and then this time instead of using the gold metallic ink, I'm just colored in with a gold gel pen. So it'll give it a different kind of gold. There we go. All right. And then this, you know what, this one goes on, this one does like the details here. So I'll come in with my dark oak. Isn't it fun? So the whole point of me doing this is that these stencils are part of that mixed media or mixed blossoms kit or mixed blooms kit. Looks completely different, right? And I love that both are included. All right, so there we have, look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you can see that gold metallic in the center. All right. All right, let me move some of this stuff. Is Lila home? Somebody's here. Okay. Now, normally I would heat set this before I move on to anything, but I don't want to take the time or noise to do that. I got a little ink up here, so I'm using a paper sander. These are little fingerprints that I got because I'm trying to rush. So anytime you get a light amount of ink somewhere you don't want it, you can kind of sand it away. Another thing that you can use, and I linked these below, these are called Perfection erasers, and this allows you to get, it's like a rough kind of paper eraser, and it helps with erasing some of the color if you have little fingerprints, like light amount of ink somewhere. I put this, I know I have that in the description below. So isn't that pretty? Now I wanted to do something fun to this. If you look here, actually, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We first need to get our card ready. So this is top folding 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch note card. And I want to cut that shine bright so that there is a window showing through. This is something fun that you can do when you have word dies and a shadow die. So this again is from the Secret Garden that's coming up, so it's exclusive to that. I'm just giving you a sneak peek, and I have a big discount code in the description below. I'm going to take the shadow for the shine bright. I'm going to place it right there. Uh-oh. Lila's friends are here too. I'm going to place it right there and run it through. I don't need the shim. All right. Actually, I'm going to go lower because I don't want to cut too much out of my flower. Forgive me while I overthink here. All right. According to Altenew, you can use the fresh dye re-inkers to re-ink your crisp dye inks, but not the other way around. Okay. Oh, and yeah, that works too. All right, so now I have this window through this, but I want the same spot on my card. Hi, Mom. How did shopping go? Good. Okay. So let me show you how to make sure I want that hole to be in the same place on the front of my note card. So I'm going to line up the panel on the front of my note card, and I'm just going to lay it there. I have a little bit of glue on the back of this little die cut, and I'm going to pop it right into the center. All right. And then I'll remove this. So see that die cut is there? This is just going to help me to figure out where to put this die. I'll put the die around that die cut. Everybody's saying hi, Gran. She can't hear me. So now I'll run this through, leaving the back half of the card hanging out. Yeah, everybody, we call her Gran. Gran has more energy than anybody I know, and she's 81. All right, so now you have that hole there, and you have the hole there lined up. See that? Okay, now this is cool. I have been big on adding texture to stamped or stenciled pieces like this. And one great thing to use that is a debossing die or a cover plate like this that does little details. So this is a much older one. This one has been out for many, many years. Altenew Dotted Scales Debossing Plate. So it cuts the outside edge and then it does pierced scallops, dotted scallops. I'm going to lay my background on there. Just line it up the best I can. It really doesn't matter. That's fine. I'll take it home later. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to run that through my die cut machine just like a regular die. Yeah, my mom, there's a hashtag that I do, Live Like Gran, because my mom lives life to the fullest. She's fantastic. And several of the ladies here know her and agree she's a lot of fun. She is fun. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So it just does that dotted detail over the background. It just adds some interest because it was pretty simple before. Now this time I did it so the loops go down. On this card I did it so the loops go up. Do you see that? How do I come up with these techniques? I don't know. I don't sleep. I do sleep actually, because that Jesse guy that was here in my live the other day, he's really helped me get more sleep. Like I can sleep like 8 hours a night now, which is astonishing. But anyways, when I fall asleep, I say my prayers, and then after I'm done, I start thinking about cards. That's when I think about them. Or when I'm, just doing something mundane like cooking. Not that I cook. Putting kids' lunch together. I don't know. I think about this stuff all the time. It's just who I am. It consumes me. I think when you're passionate about what you do, you think about it a lot. If that makes any sense. All right, so I just line that up on the front, and I'll put something heavy on that while it dries. Oh, good, Jennifer. I'm glad you like what he sends. He's a good guy. Okay, so I'm lining that up. And then all I have left is the Shine Bright. And let me show you a little trick. When you have intricate die cuts like this, I highly recommend doing this. Like when you have a sentiment like this, because I've spent this time on this card, I don't want to fuss too long with fiddling with a little intricate word. So what I like to do is I put Altenew double-sided adhesive sheet on the back of the cardstock before I cut it, so it turns it into a sticker. I have used different double-sided adhesive sheets a lot over the years, and for the past like 3 years, I've used this exclusively. I think it die cuts really well. It just works really well. So I have brushed gold cardstock, and I already put the double-sided adhesive on the back. Now, I will put my Shine Bright on there and run that through my die cut machine. Oh, this is a paperweight. It says Share Handmade Kindness. And I just think you should have something heavy in your craft room to put on things as they dry. This one, a lovely human named Jossie makes them. Her website, if you Google Bossy Jossie, she makes them. So I don't make any money from it. I gave her the rights to use the Share Handmade Kindness, and she makes these, and they're fun. And you're helping a small business owner, Jossie. So anyways, they're great. Any paperweight would work. There's different options. All right, so now this is a sticker. It has sticker on the back of it. So I just pull this out gently. I've used this die so many times. Have you ever noticed dies? Cardstock is more likely to stick inside of a die the more you use it. It's because they have like a release agent on it that starts to go away. So now this is a sticker, which makes it so much easier to get in the right place instead of putting liquid adhesive on the back. So I'm gonna put a magnet on this so it stays closed. And I'm just fitting this into that opening. So my sentiment is actually going on the inside of the card and showing through the window. Now there are little dots. There's one there. Come on, baby. There we go. There's one dot there. I'm struggling because I'm running out of time. You know how that goes. Now, one of the things I do like about the double-sided adhesive from Altenew is you do have some wiggle room time. You actually can place something down and pick it up until you press it down firmly. Like I will press it all down with a bone folder here in a moment, and that'll get it in place. There are better ways to do these little dots. I'm just struggling today. I'm on the struggle bus. Okay, so once I have them placed where I want them, what I do is I lay something over it like, usually I grab a piece of acetate or something, and I just lay it on top, and then I rub over it with a bone folder, and that presses it down, and now it will stay. And see how it just shows through, and I love that it's in the inside too. So there are two. This one I did with blues instead. But you can see how these are all so different looking, yet they're all done with the same kit, and that was what I was really excited about. When I took a closer look at this set, I don't know how I found it. I think May was using it the other day, and I'm like, oh, I like that. And so I went and I dug it out, and I'm like, oh, there's a lot to this one. And so that's why I decided to play with it today. Yeah, Tracy, time flies, doesn't it? I have one more to show you. I'm just going to show it to you. I'm not going to actually create it. Isn't it fun how these are all different? So all of the supplies that I'm using pretty much are from the Mixed Blooms kit that is 21% off right now, except for these sentiments are sneak peeks from the Secret Garden that's coming in May. Yes, so another reason it's good to use that double-sided adhesive, somebody mentioned this, on the back of that metallic cardstock is you don't get messy liquid adhesive on metallic cardstock. But here's a little trick. If you do get liquid adhesive on your metallic cardstock, you can use a little rubbing alcohol and it'll come right off. You just gotta be careful. I have rubbing alcohol swabs that I save for that. Okay, one last card. I just want to show you what I did on this one. I was going to do it again because there's something about it that I don't like, and I would change the second time, but I'll just tell you. So remember how I said in this Blooms kit, this Mixed Blooms, it has the stencils for the floral that we just did. This big floral here. Then there are stencils to make a smaller floral, and I did that on here. Okay, so all of that is included in one, and I hope Altenew does more of these. They do this a lot where they include a lot in the kit, but this one has a lot of variety and style in the kit too. Does that make sense? So what I did is I used the stencils from the kit, and I did a cluster up in the top, and then I rotated my cardstock and did one in the bottom corner. So I have two clusters that kind of meet in the middle. Then I did that little trick where I die cut a hole and I put the sentiment back behind it, but this time it's just on a card front. It doesn't show to the inside. All right, you can see I also used that metallic ink from Lisa Horton, the gold metallic, for the centers. But I wanted to show you these edges here. I wanted to show you those edges. So I'm just going to demonstrate. This is an Altenew stencil. Gosh, I don't know how old this is. This is probably years old. There's a lot of great stripe stencils out there. They would all work well for this. I can't find my... Here it is. Okay. Let me just show you what I did. So I did the stenciling of the florals here and here, and that is just following the stencils. All right. Now, I wanted to have these like gold stripes, but I think this is too intense. I want it to be a little more subtle. So on this one, I did the Lisa Horton metallic gold. So you can see they're very intense and shiny. If you want something a little more subtle, you can use that shimmer. So let me get my inking tool. I gotta find it. See, I put everything down. I might have to get a new one because I don't know where I put it. Here we go. So you could use the bold gold, the metallic ink from Lisa, or this is the Enchanted gold from Altenew, which has more of a shimmer. So if you want something a little bit softer, you can use this. I'm just going to go kind of soft to show you how you can kind of get a little bit of that shimmer. So not all metallic ink pads are the same, right? So I'm just pulling some from the edge, and look at how subtle and beautiful that is. Look how soft. And it's shimmery. It's hard to see, but it's shimmery. But you could do this with like dye ink and just have soft pink stripes coming from the corner. So here I did the Lisa Horton metallic gold. So you can see it's a little more intense. But here I did the Altenew shimmer, which is the Enchanted gold. So I think I'm going to probably do this again and do that Enchanted gold in the corners too. So you can see the two different versions. Let me show you, what are we on time? Yeah, I can't do the whole card. My cold meds are wearing off on me, and Lila's home. So let me just tell you some things about this. Now note, I did the cluster of flowers here, and then I did this trick of just doing part of the stencil. And you can do that with dots. You could do that with any kind of repetitive pattern, and it just kind of filled in that space. But if you did a lighter, it'd be a lot more subtle. Then I used the Love You. This is from the Secret Garden that I'm giving you a little peek to. I used the shadow die to cut from the center. So I have that hole. And then I popped it up and put the word Love You into the opening. Now, what I did here is I wanted a purple matte. So I inked the edges purple, the same color purple, so that I would have that matching purple, but then the white shows through that hole there. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense, because I'm unable to finish that one. But I will finish this off using the softer gold so you can see. But this is a great way, like I did this all these with this kit, right? But then I went and I pulled two much older products that I hadn't used in a while, the dotted scales and then the stripe stencil, and I added that in. So you can use your older products more. I think it's important when we get new stuff. You'll notice that this is something I've been doing, especially in my lives. I try to use newer things that are available, but then I also throw in some older things like these two products. Because that way, if you reach in and get out some of your older products to use with your newer, you keep using what's in your stash too, okay? So that is another one. And this floral arrangement is different than this one. And so I did it twice in the corners. All right. Okay. So that's what I've got. I'll answer a few more questions. I can hear Lila and her friend upstairs causing some sort of trouble. No. I think Lila's into doing nails because she hung out with Christina Werner. And so she did my mom's nails earlier, and I think she's doing her friend's nails now. So look at all these. Here I thought I was going to do less. So those are some of the different things I played with today. This one I need to complete, but here's a little idea. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All from the same, all from the same, oh wait, there's more. All from the same kit. And then there's this one that I haven't finished. There's this. So fun. There we go. All right. Okay. So I do have a giveaway. Let me show you the pile. Can you hear me, the giveaway pile? If you want to be eligible for a giveaway, just leave a comment in the chat. If you've left comments in the chat, you're eligible. The giveaway today is for 5. Is that 5? I can't count. 5 handmade cards that I've made. And I'll send you all 5 of them with envelopes too. And I won't write in them so that you can send them to whoever you want. These are all using Altenew products that I've made in the past. So the winner's going to get these 5 cards. So leave a comment in the chat. I'll give you a moment to do that, and then Mike will pick somebody. So this, again, I used today the mixed blooms, just because I thought it was a great kit. It's older and it's on sale right now, so the link is below. And then I also threw in some sneak peeks of the upcoming Secret Garden Retreat. These products and many more will be exclusives to that, and I have a big discount code below. I think it's $150 off the event, and that is just for a short time, and that's in the description, so check that out too. If you click over, in the description, if you click over to the information page about Secret Garden, there's a video there. And in the video, they quickly show an image that has all the products laid out included, and they are really cool. They're not all florals. So it's a nice mix. So anyways, that's what we have today. I greatly apologize, and I probably should have noted this more in the beginning, that I'm a little off because I've been a little sick and I took a little medicine. Here you go, Mike. So thank you for dealing with me. My ums and my pauses and my flustering. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let's pick a winner, and then I'll answer a few questions. So the winner of that stash of handmade cards is
Jackie Nellison.
Jackie Nellison.
Nellesen.
Jackie Nellison, you are the winner of those cards. If you go to my website and email me through my website, I will get those. Well, let's be honest, Mike will get those sent out. You like Mike putting the prizes together because he puts in other stuff like stickers and stuff too. He's very generous.
Say to Vicky Mills, contact us. There was an issue with that address.
Okay, and if your name is Vicky Mills, if you happen to be here,
or Miles.
Sorry, it's Vicky Miles. You won a prize a while ago. It came back to me. So the address, something's wrong with the address. So I'm going to resend it to you. So if you are Vicky Miles, please also email me, okay? And Jackie, good. Congratulations. Okay, let's answer a few more questions before I go. Mike, are there some questions saved?
Yep.
Some of them I answered.
There was this too.
Oh, Tony, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Favorite metallic gold pen. Okay, here's the thing, Scrappy Cat. Metallic gel pens and white gel pens, they can be moody. But one thing that you can do, I don't have a gold paint pen here, but one thing that you can get is sometimes like, I have them in the other room. Sometimes you can choose gel pens. I put my gel pen somewhere. Hold on, let me get my thought together. what I normally reach for is the Signo Uniball. This is the gold. It comes in gold and silver and white, and I just keep going back to those. They can be moody, especially the white one can be kind of moody, but they work well. So there's gold, white, and silver. I think they work fine. But paint pens like this one's not primed, but paint pens like this can often be really good too. So if you've tried the gold Uniball and you've struggled with it, you can try a paint pen instead. But I always go back to these because they're inexpensive. All right. I've never been a flower person, but I would love to try. Is this one too complex for a beginner? That's a hard call. I don't think it would be too hard, but I do feel like there are better florals to start with. If you are new and you want to try a floral layering stencil, I would recommend going to Altenew and just searching on layering stencils, and then just get one that is just not part of a kit. So it's just a standalone, and you can usually find one that's a little bit easier to do. But there's a lot of options over there. Another thing you can do is go watch people's videos. There are a lot of people who do what I do. So if you look maybe on the Altenew website and you find a layering stencil set that looks pretty to you, search that online, and if a video pops up, watch it and see what it looks like, if it might be something that you could tackle. For a beginner stamper, what die embossing machine would you recommend? Amanda, I have a video that is a crafty gift guide video that I did in 2023. And in there, I talked about the machines I recommend the most. If you want an electric machine, I recommend the Anna Griffith Empress. If you want a manual machine, I recommend the Gina Intri-Cut, which I use today because it's got the dial system. It's really easy to use. Or the Spellbinders Platinum. Those are all really good machines. I do recommend just going ahead and investing in one of those bigger machines instead of one of the little ones, because you'll always want a bigger one for larger dies. I'm having a hard time lining up my stamp and embossing folder. Now here's the thing, sometimes, I didn't have any trouble today, but sometimes if you have a large stamp and an embossing folder, it's kind of hard to line up, because what happens is, remember when you put paper in an embossing folder, it's stretching the paper. So sometimes it can kind of distort things, but I find if you line it up the best you can and don't put too much pressure going through your die cut machine, it should be just fine lining up the embossing folder with the stamping. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We're handmade, not Hallmark. Hi, Lila and Gina. Is it better to use smooth paper for inking or textured paper so the ink has something to grip onto? Definitely smooth. If you want a super smooth cardstock, that's great for blending. One that I really like, and I've been using more, is Simon Hurley has a white cardstock that's really smooth and heavyweight. Another great one is Hammermill Smooth white cardstock. It's a little lighter weight, but it's good for foiling also, and it's great for blending. Gina K has some great cardstocks for blending too. So yes, I recommend a smooth if you're blending. In fact, I do smooth for almost everything. I prefer smooth. What sandwich do you use for the Empress with 3D embossing folders? I think, Darlene, you probably saw that. When I do Altenew's 3D embossing folders, and most, not all, but most 3D embossing folders, with Empress, I do a clear plate, the magnetic plate, the 3D embossing folder, and then on top of that, I just lay the thin metal shim. And that should work. Okay. All right, I think that's it for today. Thank you. Thanks for sticking with me. Oh, good question, Stacy. Let me answer this one. Do you always stencil or stamp first, then emboss? What I did today, I used the embossing folder first and then the stencils. The reason I did that is when you take a blending brush over the texture done by an embossing folder, it picks up the ink a little bit heavier in some areas and lighter in others, and it makes it stand out more. So I prefer to do embossing folder, then stencil. However, if I'm stamping, I prefer to stamp and then do embossing folder. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Is Nina smoother than Hammermill? No, Hammermill is smoother, but it's not as heavyweight as the Nina Classic Crust that I normally use. But I have no problem using the Nina for blending. I think it's smooth again. It's smooth enough. May, I'm so glad you're here. Okay. Can you recommend a company that sells multicolor A2 envelope packs? Absolutely, Altenew. And I think if you look, I'll be right back. I think if you look in their sales section, which I have linked in the description, they have, I think there's some packs that are on sale right now. I think there's a pack of greens. Let me just grab, I've bought a bunch of them, but they have these multi-packs, which I really like. So this is one of them. Now I have more than one pack here, but you can see there are 4 different shades in this pack. And I think they sell packs of all one color too. But see how pretty those are? And they're good quality. I really like these. And I think if you shop, if you click this sale right at the top of my YouTube description, it says ways to save or something like that. Let me see what I have it say. Oh, right underneath exclusive offer, it says find Altenew sale items here. I think if you go there, usually they have, maybe click that 45% off area. Let me look. Usually they have a pack of envelopes in there. Maybe they don't this week, but they usually do. Yeah, they do. They have 45% off the Tropical Forest pack, which is 4 shades of green. So if you want to try some, that's a good opportunity because it's 45% off. So, yeah. How do I plan for an event like this, like going live like this? I spend the day before coming up with too many things to share in 2 hours. That's what I do. Sadly, I always want to share too much. I feel like I want my videos to be like mini classes. So I feel like the best way you can teach is to show a lot of examples. Company for A7 envelopes, Cards and Pockets. That's where I usually get my A7 envelopes. Cards and Pockets. Okay, Mike, can you share the Hammermill cardstock I mentioned? Yeah, let me see. I'll share it and then I'm gonna head out here. I'll add it to the supply list. Oops, hang on. I think Mike is done. He's tired. He's been sick too. I'm gonna blame him for me being sick. All right, I'm gonna put a link in the chat to the Hammermill that I recommend. That's smooth. It's thick, but not as thick as the Nina. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. Sundays are always a little more casual, especially when you have a cold. So I thank you for bearing with me and putting up with me. If you are interested in anything that I talked about, it's in the YouTube description below, including the ways to save that I shared. I will go back and finish these cards and take photos, and I will add them to my blog sometime over the next week, and I'll try to do a shortened replay. I try to. If it makes sense, if I'm able to chop it down, I do. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you all got to craft too, and that you continue to craft a bit more, and I'm off to order dinner. Thanks for watching.